Hey guys, what's going on? AhnaldT101 here, and as you see, it's late at night, just getting back home from school and work. It's about 10 p.m. right now, and I figured I'm gonna share something with you guys that I've been working on for the past while now. So on my YouTube community page, I told you guys that I'm moving into a new studio, and I kind of want to share that experience with you. It's gonna be a little fun. I'm gonna show you how I make my videos, how I make my thumbnails, and just show you what kind of goes behind the scenes in all those videos you guys watch. Let's go and check out my studio, and as you notice, I'm right next door to a farmer's insurance agency, but don't let that fool you. The magic happens right behind there. So let's go take a peek at what's going on. Lock the door so you don't get no bad guys coming at this hour. And here's the first room for my unit. It looks a little hood. We got the pink carpet. Look at that. Maybe we'll put a pole in the corner. There's my backpack. Just got back from school right there. And it's a little messy. We're still trying to clean up a little bit around here. I've been unboxing all week and setting up my room, so I got to throw away the boxes. Look at those curtains, by the way. Look at those blinds. High quality. Best you'll ever find in my neighborhood. It's gonna look a little janky, I'm not gonna lie. This is my first office space, and the reason why I wanna show this is because, for me personally, this has been a huge upgrade. I started off my room on this tiny little desk. I'll show some pictures if I have them somewhere, and slowly I kind of progressed up and up and up, and here I am with my own office space. And first of all, I wanna thank all of you guys for liking the videos, watching. It's surprising that one video turned into another and more support over time, and I wanna share with you guys everything I do behind the scenes. And thank you guys for all of your support, and hopefully we're gonna have a lot of fun. And also thank you to my patrons. Your guys' support financially has also helped me make this decision. Thank you once more. But without further ado, the magic's behind that door, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go and see what's cooking. Welcome to mi casa, to my new studio, to my dwelling, and here's where we're gonna have fun making videos for the next upcoming while. But one thing I gotta work on right now is getting some acoustic foam panels for this room, because right now I'm using my broadcasting microphone, but if I switch over to the camera where the Rode microphone is, you'll notice that there's a lot of echo in this room. This room is not good for recording audio, so I'm gonna get some foam acoustic panels in the back to improve the audio, and probably up here I'm gonna install a curtain rod to pull a green screen for videos for situations I want a green screen. So I'm gonna have a lot of flexibility in this room to kind of play around and get whatever I need done for a video. But let's get moving on to the hardware stuff, because that's the stuff you guys are probably most interested in. But before I got this Imac, as you guys saw, I started off with my MacBook Pro, and then I started using my Hackintosh desktop. If you guys don't know what a Hackintosh is, it's essentially a custom-built PC that runs Windows and Mac. And now eventually this past fall I upgraded to this 27-inch 5K iMac, and it is a powerhouse, especially for making videos. We got a 4.2 gigahertz i7 processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a Radeon Pro 588 gigabytes of video RAM, which is a huge improvement over the previous iMac. So glad they finally bumped up some of the video specs. And we have a 500 gigabyte SSD. If you're getting a computer, whether you're building a PC or getting a Mac, highly recommend an SSD. It's by far so much faster over a standard hard drive or a Fusion drive disk. And also on this Mac, although I'm running Mac OS, I also dual booted this computer to run Windows 10, because for people who are in both camps, there's really benefits to having both a Windows computer as well as a Mac computer for making videos. So when I use Windows, I hop into Windows mainly to do live streaming and playing games, because those are the two things that PC has by far superior than over a Mac. But when it comes to editing videos, the ecosystem, efficiency, and just if you need customer support, you actually got some decent customer support. I switch over to the Mac, and here I can edit videos like it's no one's business, essentially. And we'll talk more about the software in a little bit. Don't want to get too much in detail about why I like using the Mac ecosystem. But moving beyond that, let's talk about my first major upgrade for the channel, and that is this microphone. This microphone is the Electro Voice RE20. It's one of the more expensive microphones out there, but for people who know their microphones, this is pretty much one of the standard broadcasting microphones out there that has been in use for decades upon decades. I think this microphone came out in like the 1960s, and it's been relatively the same ever since then. The quality of the audio is really good, especially for voiceovers, people who do podcasts, any sort of broadcasting or videos. Microphone and audio sound is 50% of the game on YouTube. If you have horrible audio, people aren't going to want to watch your videos because it hurts their ears, it's not entertaining, it's distracting. You don't need to get a $500 microphone out the gate. For the longest time, I used the Blue Yeti microphone. It's under $100, and by golly, it's one of the best bang for your buck microphones, and it's USB, which means it works on your PC, your Mac. It's plug and play even on a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And to make a microphone like this work that uses what's called XLR, you're going to need an audio interface. And I have the Focusrite 2i2 Scarlett. It has 2 XLR inputs, a monitor gain, an overall audio gain, and a headphone jack to plug in your headphones. And then for headphones, this is something that's very subjective. Your headphones won't determine how good your channel is, but I got these for $80 off eBay. These are the Audio-Technica's ATH-M50s. Now again, the headphones aren't that important. People use their Apple headphones, their Beats headphones, but if you want to hear the better details, especially when using an audio interface, highly recommend trying to get in that $80 area. But again, you can really get by far without having to spend money on these. And if you're looking for headphones that don't have the cable inside, highly recommend checking out the Audio-Technica's ATH-M50X. Pretty much the same thing, but a detachable cable, because if I bust this cable, this pair of headset is pretty much garbage. Moving beyond here, I have an Acer external display. It's only 1080p, 27 inches, nothing too special, but having that extra real estate, even though the 5K display has a ton of real estate, getting that second monitor is great for when you're watching a video. You're like, for example, I go to law school, so I need to do cases, so I can look at cases on the side while typing my notes. Having sometimes more space, the merrier, and this was $100 for like Cyber Monday or something like that a while ago, so it was a great deal. Moving beyond that, let's move into more of the other tiny little things on my desk. You will notice that I have my ASIO keyboard. It's backlit, it's mechanical, it's a full-size keyboard. This does not come with the Mac, but I definitely like having the backlit keyboard and the mechanical keyboard, which is why I went out of my way and bought this. But again, it's all extra, but I thought you guys might want to know what I'm using. And then other hardware stuff, I have an iPhone 6s Plus. It gets the job done. I don't need to buy a new phone every single year. I got this when I worked at Apple. Fun tip, I did work at Apple for quite a long time. I did Mac support and iPhone support over the phone, and I got this for like literally $200 when I worked at Apple. Talk about a deal. And then speaking of iPhone, since it has a camera, let's talk about the cameras, because the camera's kind of important. Now, you don't need the best camera in the world when you're starting. When I first started off, I used the Logitech C920 webcam, and it was cheap, and I used it literally up until October of 2017, which is quite a long ways. That was about 40,000 subscribers in, and I'm still using this basic webcam. It gets the job done. You can use it for OBS. It's plug and play for both Mac and PC, and it's got decent quality, 1080p, 30 frames per second. You really can't beat it for that price point. But eventually, I did upgrade to my next camera, which is the Canon Vixia R800, and it was a good webcam. It had 1080p, 60 frames per second. It was $200 open box on Amazon. Again, I'll leave some links down below for all this stuff if you're looking for it. The problem is, though, even with the similar lighting in my room compared to what I had for the Logic C920, the footage was really dark for some odd reason. Even with additional lighting that I bought a diffuser box for lighting, it still made the footage really, really dark, and I had to do a lot of post-editing work just to get it somewhat brighter, and I wasn't too crazy about it. So then eventually I upgraded to this. Now, my buddy Mobile Gamer, we were talking about technology. He upgraded to my microphone, and he upgraded his camera, and once I saw the footage on this camera, which is the Sony Handycam AX53, I believe, the quality was like night and day difference. It has 4K on there, which is huge. 4K is not too big right now, but in the future, 4K might get even better. And right now, you're watching this in 1080p, 60 frames per second, and it is butter smooth. And on top of my Sony camcorder, we have a Rode microphone, which is attached on top of the camera and has a little plug you plug into the microphone jack on this camera. I'm going to give you a little sample of what it sounds like right now. Generally, it's pretty good for most environments, like what I showed outside walking into my office, but when it's echoey in here, it's not all that good compared to a dedicated broadcasting standard microphone. And on the camcorder, we have an Amazon Basics tripod. This thing was literally like $20 and it gets the job done. I like having a tripod in my videos to make sure I got a nice angle, because I think I look pretty good when it's on an angle right here, but I also bring it on trips. Really important if you're doing collabs or you're interviewing someone, or you just need a webcam on top of a tripod. Comes really in handy. $20, you can't miss it. I highly recommend it if you're getting a webcam or even a camcorder. Really, something you should probably look into is a tripod of this sort. Now, these next few things I'm going to mention are more important for individuals who use OBS. Now, OBS is open broadcaster software. It's completely free. It's what I use when I hop over to my PC and do my live streaming, and sometimes I record, for example, emulator gameplay on there. And what I'm talking about are game capture cards. Now, this first one I'm showing you is the Elgato Camlink. Recently just got this for my camcorder, because once I replaced my Logitech webcam, I was like, oh, I really want to have my camera in the corner, and I already had my camcorder occupying the tripod. So when you get this Camlink, you can essentially convert your camcorder into a really powerful webcam. I use it for my live streams, or sometimes you can just record straight from the webcam into your computer without the need of an SD card, solely because you have this Elgato Camlink. And the cool thing about this, there is no latency, unlike the HD60. Now, I have an HD60 Elgato game capture card, and I use this mainly to record my iPhone and OBS or PS4 content. You're going to need an Elgato game capture card. So if you're recording on your iPhone or iOS device, it's really important you also get this for OBS. It's a lightning adapter or AV adapter, I think it's called, and then you plug it into your phone, your iPad, and it splits into an HDMI and a lightning port. And you're going to need this to attach to your Elgato. And there's a lot of videos out there if you need help setting it up, but really important to get that if you're planning on live streaming from your phone or recording in OBS in general. And then the lights. One of the things I wanted to improve upon in my videos was the lighting. Now, lighting, you can really get away with just having okay lighting. As long as we can see your face and kind of see your expressions, that's all that really matters. Basic lighting, such as the ceiling light, and maybe some lights shooting up at the ceiling, like desk lamps or something. That's all you really need. But I got these 3 diffusers off of Amazon. It was like, this whole kit was $180. And here, I have all the lights off in the room turned off, and it's just these 3 lights turned on to give me even lighting, which is perfect for videography and photography. So check that out. If you're having a dark room, you can't get good lighting, you might want to check out to get a kit. At least get one of these guys or some sort of diffuser box to make sure the light spreads evenly throughout the room. Now, I think that's pretty much all of the hardware that I use for making my videos in general. Let's get into more of the softer stuff. What I use mainly is Final Cut Pro. Pretty much the 2 standard softwares to use for YouTube is either Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere, and each have their own benefits. I personally like Final Cut Pros because it's native to Imac. I don't have to worry about it being a third-party software, not getting the correct support. And secondly, it's just optimized for the iMac versus Adobe Premiere isn't quite optimized for a lot of desktops out there. And for sure, it's not optimized for a Mac. So that means some things can take a little bit longer, whereas on Final Cut Pro, it's a lot snappier. Second reason why I use Final Cut Pro over Adobe Premiere, I've used both a little bit and I have a decent opinion. Adobe Premiere, for the stuff I do on YouTube, Adobe Premiere is just super complicated and it makes the basic things I want to do a lot more difficult. Final Cut Pro, it's very user-friendly, and if you need to get more details, there's a lot of tools that are kind of beyond the user-friendly interface that kind of get to the tools that you need. And the next thing I want to talk about is how do I record my gameplay for my iPhone? A lot of people ask me that. The good thing is Apple's making it a lot easier to record on your device. Now, I know Android people were able to record on their Android device for the longest time through third-party software and some native support from the Android OS as well. But the problem is they aren't always the best. And luckily with iOS and iOS 11, you can record straight on your device without the need of a computer. No OBS and no Mac, and you can just record straight on here, which I've done quite a few times ever since the update came out. But if you want to get high quality footage from your phone, I've already mentioned Elgato and OBS. On Mac, it's actually really simple. All you gotta do is plug in your phone to your Mac, open up QuickTime, start a new movie recording, select your phone, and it starts recording. Really simple, and you get really high quality footage and sound, because some recorders out there for Android, for example, the audio quality can be really, really bad. And then pretty much the last thing software-wise I want to talk about are your thumbnails. Now, your thumbnails, it's kind of like going to a library. The cover of the book kind of gives people the first impression on what to expect. Now, don't make clickbait title videos and thumbnails, because that's not how you're going to build an audience. What you really should shoot for are thumbnails that really accurately kind of represent the video in a nice catching way, eye-catching way, a beautiful way, whatever the video may be. And for the longest time I was using PowerPoint, and you can kind of see on my channel when I made that transition from PowerPoint into Photoshop. Now, Photoshop, it can be a bit difficult to grasp at first, and it's like Premiere, you got to pay on a month-to-month basis, but the quality of the thumbnails really improved drastically. After a few thumbnails, you start getting the gist of how everything works, and it really helps kind of seal the deal on your videos so people know what they're getting into. And the last thing I want to talk about is you. I mean, you can have all the best tools in the world, but if you don't know how to use them, that's problem number one. But secondly, if you're not enthusiastic about the work you're doing, if you're not exciting, if you're not engaging the audience, it's hard to build a channel. YouTube is all about broadcasting yourself, and something I always recommend to people is just show your passion and people will come. That's kind of the number one rule here. So I want to take the time now to thank all of you guys. Being in my own independent office was something I never dreamed of when starting to make YouTube videos for the very first time. YouTube has been one of the best experiences ever, and you guys liking the videos, subscribing, watching the videos, it's helped me out drastically. Because of YouTube, I can pay my law school bills, I can help pay things for my family, I can help reinvest back into YouTube so I can improve the channel. All this is really made because of you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I want to try to help you guys who are trying to get up and going on YouTube. I'll try to give you my tips as best I can in the comments. I get a lot of comments from you guys, which I love seeing all the time. And in the video description, I'll leave links to a variety of things that I use in my studio for those who are interested in checking it out a bit more. But if you did enjoy this video, as always, hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And as always,
she'll be back.